A purpose. The reason why something is done, exists, or is used. The aim of intention of something. Noun. In life, everyone has a purpose, whether to be a teacher, a doctor. But today, I'm talking about the purpose behind the frame of mind in Ray David's art. My purpose in choosing this piece of art is behind my cousin. My cousin is diagnosed with autism, and this piece of art really spoke to me because, like Ray David, he was also diagnosed with autism, and I can't wait to see the things he does one day as Jordan grows up with this disorder. And the other person is Evan. Over the summer, I worked at as a lunch lady. Evan was one of the special individuals I got to work with every day, and it was amazing to see him develop into a different person and different types of foods, along with developing as an individual and as a child. The individual I decided to represent was Ray David. He's affected by autism, and he created the frame of mind. He created this in 2014, and he did this inspiration of the World Autism Week, and he does this by using a white canvas and using only black and white colors to illustrate how he feels every day, and he pays specific attention to certain facial features that demonstrate his discomfort in this image. So first, who is Ray David? Well, he got his PhD in art from RMIT School of Art, and he did this in 2010. He suffers from Asperger's syndrome, which is a form of autism, and he's originally from Australia. Frame of Mind is hung up in La Trobe University in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. It was created in 2014 during the World Autism Awareness Week and is painted on a white canvas. It is a 2D image, and he uses the subtle background of black and uses white to demonstrate the contrast of it. You look particularly into the detail of his hair and his hands. He clearly shows discomfort, and if you look at the back, there is an array of distorted images, and he does this to illustrate the side of discomfort he has within everyday interaction as someone who's affected by autism. So let's look a little bit closer at this piece of art. So if you can see in the background, there's an array of people's face, and it's distorted with shapes. People who struggle with autism are more adhered to shapes than faces, and faces can often make a feeling of discomfort. So you can see in his facial features right there, his left hand is covering up his face, implying he must be discomfort, as the other one is particularly at a discomforting angle. So you can see there, and you can tell that he is a young boy because in the image on the lower shirt he has a bike, and it's obviously also young because of the less broader shoulders and less masculine characteristics you can see there, as well as you can see on his eyebrow that they are slightly protruded downward, meaning that he is also distressed. So let's look a little bit more into the interpretations of frame of mind. So this is clearly a young boy affected by autism, and this could be representing Ray David as a young boy growing up with this disorder. He's in sensory overload, which is very common among people who struggle with autism, especially being young, in figuring out what he can and cannot do. This is reflective of his personal experiences because in his papers he referenced before, he references the feeling of discomfort, feeling out of place, and this painting also represents the difficulty behind autism. And I would like to bring attention to chaos and order. As you can see there, the faces are in a very orderly like, but the rest of the image is very chaos. And he does this to create a dynamic in the image, as well as to create this discomfort, but yet comfort among the viewers. And in my personal opinion, this interpretation brings light into lots of chaos and disorder that life brings every day. So what is the cultural significance of this painting? Well, the significance is that it represents individuals who are affected by autism every day, and it shows that someone who may be affected by disorder, that it does not define them, and that they can continue to be successful, as he is represented in universities and actually teaches at La Trobe University. This also has an effect on culture because it shows that the dynamic between the non-autistic world and the world, and it also creates a bridge of understanding that may help us improve how we interact with people who may not be similar to us. Has a great impact on everyone, including the viewer, because it brings a greater understanding of people who may be affected and shows the interpretation of life that those who are affected by this disorder. In Ray David's image, he shows neutral colors and the use of contrast, as well as pattern and dispattern. So in the autism community, they are often represented by the symbol of a puzzle that is colorful. This is quite contradictory because according to Reckinson, a behavioral studyist, he discovered that 80% of children on the spectrum actually induces anxiety for them, and they perceive this much brighter. So David is bringing light to the fact that they are often misrepresented by the lack of research done in this study. He is also using neutral tones to create a calming effect for the viewer and for people who might be affected by autism and not autism. He's bringing light to the situation because of the neutral colors and how it might bring calmness to this. And he also uses the pattern, the lack of pattern, and the pattern to show how someone might differ in their brain depending on the disorder. Not every single individual with autism has a structured pattern mind, and he brings light to this by the lack of structure. Like previously mentioned, that bright colors bring anxiety to individuals who are affected by autism, according to Atkinson, who was a behavioral scientist. And on the left, there are neutral colors. On the right, there are bright colors. The neutral colors are more adhesive because they bring a calming effect, while the bright colors may bring a surprise or more of an anxiety-induced. Like previously mentioned, David likes to bring to this aspect of chaos and order. Individuals who are affected by autism, to the outside, they may look like they're chaotic, but into their mind, they are very ordered. And this brings the effect of bridging between the two communities of non-autistic people and autistic people. The purpose of his image was to create the frame of mind, and the frame of mind is affected depending on if you are affected by this disorder or not. It brings in light that lots of people are affected by it, but yet it does not define you, as he got a PhD in art, as well as bridging the communities and creating more of an understanding and more of appreciation between cultures and the way of thinking. And these are my works cited pages. You can see all of them referenced right here. And I just would like to thank you for watching this.